So today we're doing a commentary on a commentary to a review.
What the fuck was that? Degrees. Charlie 5 made a smexy review of Sonic forces his way into your marriage. Tony Sonic didn't like that and started yelling mean words at him, which led to Destroyershy and MarioDiamond making a presentation as to why swearing is bad, which is why I'm here, because fuck that shit.
Well, anyway, back then life was going swell and everything was just good for you!
So, before we begin, you're getting 20 cents for making me stop playing Frontiers just for this. Especially since it just came out.
Yo, are we going full Nero's Q in this motherfucker? Like, I know why you want to do this counter thing, considering the fact that it relates to the video you're covering, but, well, let's just say it's inconsistent and you'll see why as we go along.
And depending on how this video goes, you're gonna get another 10 cents since you said you also hated his video, despite you literally pulling a 180 in your description.
Okay, let's read what your screenshot says. Sonic Forces was the big 25th anniversary title that everyone was looking forward to back in 2017. When it released, however, fans were decidedly split. Some absolutely hated the game and others liked it. Personally, I really liked the game, though I won't deny... Yep, this totally tells me how you like Charlie's video. But you guys want to know what's especially bad? Because I actually went to Tony Sonic's video and I found out that MarioDiamond, the editor of this video, cropped out the rest of the description. If you read what comes after, Tony Sonic says, "Personally, I really like the game, though I won't deny that it has problems. As for Charlie's video, it's pretty good actually. A lot good points are made, but there's still a hefty amount that I find faults with. Like, how the fuck do you fuck up this badly? The description isn't even that long, so it shouldn't have been hard to take a picture of the whole thing. I think you'll live." Made even worse by the fact that you don't even link Tony Sonic's video in your description, even though you put Charlie's video, but whatever. Point is, learn to take screenshots better, because leaving shit out is bad, especially when you're trying to tie it into an actual point.
So finally I go over and I open the door, and just as I suspected, it's some big fat hermaphrodite. What?
This is a first. I don't think I've ever seen narrating text in a Sonic game. Mostly because we've never needed it.
Everything wrong with Sonic Forces. The game is doing something new, and it fits with the theme of the game.
Hey look, I actually have a point against Tony Tonic here. Tony, Charlie wasn't saying that because it's doing something new with the franchise and that's something wrong with the game. His point was that the narration wasn't really needed in the franchise before, so it feels weird to do it now. Like, I get that you do say that it fits with the theme of the game, but even so, that wouldn't really disprove his claim that it isn't necessary.
Not really? And most would agree on that assessment. Also, it's the fact it's been unneeded, so...
I'm sorry, what? Could you repeat the second half in English, please? Like, seriously, you mumbled the other half of your point, so I have no idea what the fuck you're trying to say. If you're not clear in the line delivery, don't be afraid to do retakes, motherfucker. As for your first point, how does the narration not fit with the theme of the game? Keep in mind, I'm not exactly the biggest Sonic fan in the world, so it would be nice to know why you and the majority of the Sonic fanbase will agree that it doesn't fit. Not everything you say speaks for itself, Destroyershy, you should know this.
Dragging along my big sauerkraut.
Not even Sonic will be able to stand against me now.
What beef does Infinite have with Sonic? He seems to be taking this pretty personally when all Shadow do is beat him up and call him weak. Shadow, not even Sonic.
Infinite is obsessed with being the most powerful being on the planet, and in order to be that, he has to defeat the current most powerful being on the planet, that being Sonic, which he wouldn't know about given how vocal Eggman is about his hatred for Sonic.
Okay, but that sounds way too personal for someone he hasn't even met. If it was Shadow, sure, but Sonic isn't a factor in this when you consider how personally he says it when they haven't even spoken yet.
Literally fucking how? Infinite literally just says that not even Sonic will be able to defeat him. Yeah, that's also a problem with Charlie's video as well. Infinite isn't even being personal with his dialogue, at least with the part that you actually showed. It just seems like generic villain talk, and given that Tony Sonic brought up how Infinite would have known of Sonic's existence, yeah, Tony's point still stands.
Do you want to join the Columbia Record Club? So I did.
I can expand the Eggman Empire across the globe and conquer the world!
Yeah, we thought so too, Warbot.
You say that like Eggman isn't a major threat in this game. You do realize that he's able to conquer 99% of the entire world in the first 5 minutes of this game, right?
That's a fair point, but counterpoint, do you not realize how easy it was to take back? Yeah, I get that he took it over, but with how easy they got it back, that is such a moot point, it's not even funny.
But this doesn't change anything though. Even if it was easy for them to take the world back, that doesn't change the fact that Eggman still did it and has the power to do so. Your point literally does nothing. And even then, you say that it was so easy to take back from Eggman, but if that's what you legit think, then you're flat out wrong. From what I gathered from my friend Azof101, they struggled for 6 months according to the game, which shows that it wasn't just a simple little cakewalk. Hell, you do realize that Operation Big Wave was something that tried to happen happened but failed, right? And even then, the Resistance were basically forced to defeat Eggman within 2 days or they would straight up fucking die. Yeah, so fucking easy. Just like how it's so fucking easy to do taxes on a roller coaster while getting fucked.
So, unless Sonic's around, all of his friends, which we know have the same, if not better, abilities than Sonic, are practically useless?
Okay, no joke, this is one thing that many Sonic fans have brought up, and I have disagreed with literally all of them for one reason. If Sonic's friends have the same, if not better, abilities than Sonic, why do they lose to him? Answer, because Sonic is stronger and faster than literally all of them. He's superior in just about every way. Even Shadow, the supposed ultimate life form, loses to him 4 times out of 5. So let me pose a question. If the best hero amongst them wasn't even able to touch Infinite, how do you think the others are gonna fare?
When you use gameplay, story, or plot armor as an argument, it isn't really valid, especially when there's more than one person, so your argument just falls apart there.
Well, that was a point that makes me want to Ready to Die track 17, but still a point nonetheless. So gameplay, story, and plot armor isn't valid. Then like, what the fuck is he supposed to use to back up his point, bucko? The story part in particular actually would prove Tony Sonic's point, as Sonic would be proving that he has superior skills to that of his friends, given that Sonic's accomplishments are a part of the story, you fucking.
Meet my newest recruit.
Doesn't look like much.
Oh, I am not about to take shit from a 6-year-old B that doesn't even know what a top-secret disc looks like when they're literally floating all over the stage. Ass.
Well, as humiliating as it sounds, that 6-year-old B has a lot more common experience than the original of the character. And most likely you. So for once, Charmy can say something like that.
I was gonna let this slide, but then you need a Snyder and Mark, which nets you 5 sins. Remember, everyone, he said he was sorry about all the things he said, yet he keeps saying these things over and over again.
Hold up. We them boys. So previously, you added 1 sin for the bad points he makes, and yet you give him 5 sins for making a snide remark? Like, how is this supposed to work? Shouldn't it be the other way around? Because last time I checked, points are more important than just, like, saying something that is mildly funny. Like, I get that you call back to a contradiction in a previous video, but even then that shouldn't warrant it being 5 sins more than the regular bad points. Yeah, this is what I meant when I said the whole sin counter gimmick was inconsistent.
She tied me to a funnel, stuck a wall in my mouth, and force-fed me nothing but sauerkraut until I was 23 and a half.
Whoa, Chaos! Sonic, help me!
Oh, fuck no. Tails, you fought and defeated Chaos 4. The hell are you scared of Chaos Zero for?
Okay, before anyone says anything, I am not defending the scene in the slightest. While I do get what they were going for, the execution was so bad that it made Tails look like a total wimp. What I am sinning is you using Chaos 4 as an example of Tails being strong enough to handle Chaos Zero. I get why, but it doesn't work nearly as well when you realize that Sonic and Knuckles also fought Chaos 4 at the same point in the story as Tails. And as far as we know, there's no evidence saying whether all the characters fought him at once, or one specific character fought him and the other fights were just for the sake of it. A better example would have been the Egg Walker at the end of Tails' story, especially since he actively encourages himself to stand up and fight at the start.
Yeah, no, you're just picking at sins at this point. Regardless of that, he should be able to still fight back.
Except that wasn't his point, fuckface. In fact, he agrees with you that Tails should have been able to fight back against Chaos Zero. His point was that he could have used a better example. Like, are you even paying attention to the video? Honestly, given the point I'm saving for later, I'm actually not surprised.
Give in to your fear. Flee screaming, and I'll let you live.
So, why do you let us live? We didn't really flee screaming.
Oh, we did. It was just off screen. Infinite's dialogue in the second fight confirms as much.
I remember you. You ran from me before. You survived then, but you throw it all away now.
Wow, 2 for 2 on the failing to check over your work. Just makes my job that much easier. Anyways, notice how you didn't say run screaming.
Yeah. And the dialogue from the scene Tony showed us does imply that they did run away from Infinite, presumably screaming. This is what we like to call context clues.
Celery!
Doesn't matter now with the lab locked down in Mystic Jungle. Which reminds me, didn't you run into Sonic there after he escaped? Yes, but he was powerless against me.
We beat the snot out of you, you liar.
Well, you've improved since the last time, but you will still lose. As I predicted, you're not even worth the effort to finish him.
I'm sorry, who was a liar?
Yeah, but in gameplay, he won, and since you're applying gameplay, I don't want to hear your crap.
But Diamond, I thought we weren't supposed to use gameplay as an example.
Finally, I arrived at the world famous Albuquerque Holiday Inn. What's the deal?
Were you legit just about to not do anything about that attack?
So according to Chari, putting up your arms to block an attack is doing nothing.
It kind of is nothing, though. When you put your arms like that, you're looking back, eyes closed, you're gonna get kicked in the face.
You know, unless you were blocking your face, which is what Sonic was doing. Also, that would still technically be doing something. It just wouldn't be an offensive way of dealing with Shadow. It'd be more defensive, so he wouldn't get as hurt by Shadow's attack.
Also, let's play back Sin 16 real quick.
If Sonic's friends have the same, if not better, abilities than Sonic, why do they lose to him? Answer, because Sonic is stronger and faster than literally all of them. He's superior in just about every way. Even Shadow, the supposed ultimate life form, loses to him 4 times out of 5. So let me pose a question. If the best hero amongst them wasn't even able to touch Infinite, how do you think the others are gonna fare?
Now, let me propose a question for you, Mr. Hypocrite. So if he's quote-unquote better than the rest of his friends, why can't he counter a simple attack like that, huh?
Because he's strong, not invincible? I don't fucking know.
You just contradicted yourself. Maybe spend a little more time doing retakes instead of clout chasing and harassing one person. What? Maybe then you'll actually have a point.
No, we're not moving on from that. Destroyershy, what the absolute fuck? Are you legit saying that Tony Sonic is harassing Chari 5? Cause if so, that's retarded. Yes, I am well aware that Tony Sonic is admittedly really obsessive when it comes to covering Chari 5, but just because he's covering him a lot, that doesn't mean he's harassing him. Are you fucking serious? You can't just make a claim like that and not explain yourself. You're gonna have to actually explain how he's harassing someone, because that's something you just brought up out of the fucking blue. Jesus fucking Christ.
Chaos control! Chaos control! Chaos control!
Oh, you are so lucky that you didn't do the 06 video before this one. That said, what is the point of this sin? Just because they look similar? A, there's only so many ways you can do a roundhouse kick.
I mean, given that Chari only showed 2 clips, are you implying that there's only one way you can do a roundhouse kick? Cause, yeah, that's what your point seems to be implying, Mr. Obama.
And he's like, make me! And I'm like, no! Get him off me! Get him off me!
Classic Sonic's Chemical Plant Zone music is just Survivor's Eye of the Tiger.
Only a couple parts sound similar, and considering that nearly every song ever made uses only 12 notes, it's hardly a problem to find similar sounding music. Unless it's a straight up ripoff, of course, in which case go wild.
Tony Sonic can't take a joke cliche.
How? Chari was making the claim that the music was ripping off Eye of the Tiger. Like, how the fuck is that a joke in and of itself? If Chari said something like, wow, this game really needs to give Survivor a royalty check, then maybe I'd see your point, but even then, I could argue that it would still be making a point through a joke, so Tony Sonic's point is not exactly in the wrong.
Hold on a sec, while I access the data from this computer. Okay, failed battle plans, robot designs. Wow, he's got like 10 terabytes of selfies.
I live in a world where Blue Hedgehog can run as fast as the speed of sound, breathe in space, be his own self from another dimension, and have both those selves turn yellow and flow with superpowers given to them by 7 glowing rocks. I do. What I don't believe is in the fact that Eggman had the time to take enough selfies to fill up 10 terabytes of storage. Do you know how much 10 terabytes are? Around 10,000 gigabytes. That's 10 million megabytes. Let's assume that the selfies are 2 megabytes in size each, on average. That's 5 million selfies. No man can be that vain. The average human lifespan is 27,375 days. That means Eggman had to take at least 183 selfies a day in order to fill up that space, from the day he was born to the day he died. But since he's not dead, he's had to take way more than that. I know Tails is probably being sarcastic, but I did the math just in case. Sonic forces me to math.
Here we go again with that I believe anything, but actually I don't stick. You do realize we are talking about Eggman, right? Dr. Ivo Eggman Robotnik, right? The man who puts egg in the name of 80% of his machines? The man who once built an army of robots that all had his face on each and every one of them? The man who built an entire theme park called Eggman Land? The man who builds and rebuilds a moon-sized battle station with his face plastered across the front? Yeah, he can do 10 terabytes of selfies easy.
No, that wouldn't inherently indicate that, Tony. If anything, that would actually tell that Eggman wouldn't have had enough time to take all those selfies, considering that he would be too busy trying to take over the world with his machinery. Just because he's crazy doesn't mean he can do the physically fucking impossible.
It's funny. You missed the entire point of this sin just to force... Damn it, that was a pun. An argument. Seriously, can we not force an argument for the sake of padding?
How the fuck is he forcing an argument, especially when you acknowledge that Tony Sonic missed the... and follow me with this one... point. How would he be forcing an argument if he's literally countering something that Chari said? By that logic, you'd also be forcing an argument in here, so shut the fuck up.
I decided to buy some donuts. And he's yelling and screaming and bleeding all over, and I'm like, it's good for you!
Those resistance pests and their clever little plots. They're like something on your shoe that you can't wipe off.
What the hell is Eggman just doing here out in the open? Doesn't he have the Arsenal Pyramid base still? We never really destroyed it.
That doesn't answer why he's out there, considering he still has many other places.
But that wasn't the fucking point. Chari claimed that they never destroyed the Arsenal Pyramid base, and Tony Sonic is providing evidence that they did. You saying, oh, but they had other places, does nothing to Tony Sonic's point, considering that's not what's being argued. And even then, Chari's point was that because of the Arsenal Pyramid base not getting destroyed, then they should still be there. His point is overall connected to the base, so Tony Sonic isn't the right for calling it out.
But he just kept rolling around on the sidewalk, bleeding and screaming, ah! 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 So we broke up and I never saw her again.
3, 2, 1, 0.
Eggman, Let me level with you right quick.
No, actually, let me level with you real quick. Compared to several other videos I've covered, this video is pretty good. But you know what? It'd be a whole lot better if you didn't constantly repeat your points. This is like the third or fourth time you've done so when you really didn't need to, since there's so much more you can complain about regarding this game. You're gonna complain about the absolute ear rape that is classic Sonic's music, or the levels being far too short. But no, you'd rather waste your breath with the same points you made before, some of which were actually pretty good points before bringing them up again, when again, they don't up.
This is the guy that does the same thing. Since you repeated this gets you 20 cents.
Okay, I think it's about time I make this tangent here because I feel this exemplifies one of the biggest problems with this video as a whole. MarioDiamond just feels like a complete non-presence as a co-op partner, as his points up until now have just been a sentence or two long, with little to no explanation to them. Granted, I'm not saying your points have to be longer than Luigi Gold's dong, but with the way your points are just thrown out there like you were desperate for a point, it just makes you ask why you're in this video in the first place, seeing as how you add absolutely nothing to it. But as for your point itself, when did Tony Sonic repeat himself? Are you gonna show me the Carfax boy, or are you just gonna expect me to believe in it like some kind of religious person or some shit?
Loser, the things that can't be defeated are heart, soul, and the bonds of friendship.
My friends are my power cliche.
Okay, but is it a poorly used cliche? One thing you, and frankly every CinemaSins clone needs to learn is that cliches are inherently bad, because in this day and age, almost every story that can be told has been told. So that's why the execution is what matters when it comes to implementing a cliche. Granted, if the story is too cliche, then by all means sin it, but the bond between Sonic and the Rookie is actually one of the better things in this game.
It's still a cliche, Tony. Even if it's good, bad, whatever. It is still a cliche. Why do you not understand this?
Because Tony Sonic's point was that just because it's a cliche, that doesn't mean it should be considered automatically bad. What matters is what's done with the trope, not the fact that it's a trope to begin with. That's what his point is, so this more or less just shouts Charlie's point back at Tony Sonic's face, and honestly, I'm gonna have to ask you to leave this, Rallies. And since I don't really know how to argue the rest of this video, I'm just gonna stop here. Final thoughts? Good god, this video was sloppy. Not only because of the points that really didn't debunk anything, not only due to the lack of explanation to anything, but due to the fact that, well, this genuinely did not feel like a co-op at all. Seriously, outside of the intro skit, MarioDiamond and Destroyershy do not interact once. Like, not even when they add on to their own points. Now, I get that I have had some issues like that in the past, but it's something I've been working to fix. If something's gonna be a collaboration, both of you should be working off each other. Not having one person making a point and then the other person making a point and then, you know, continuing on from that. That's why it's called a collab. My suggestion is to maybe add some jokes or funny interactions, since at least that would make it seem less like a solo video where half of the points got hijacked by Super Mario in real life.
Spaghetti!